Judges linked to a certain political bias, threats, and intimidation to unreliable witnesses to testify against a political objective, manipulation, implementation, absence of evidence, and the partisan involvement of the mainstream media in this what happened to Manuel Baldizon. Immediately indicated and condemned at the same time by the Obradich case, were all with the desire of who was in the control of justice. So the former prosecutor Telma Aldana could become the president, supported by Ivan Velázquez, who had been denounced by Baldizon for manipulating the system of justice, applying selective and politicized justice. And we can see how the head of that commission has been directed the attack against that opposition system. We don't have any doubt that any people that knows about juridic things knows about it, that the justice is impartialized. Baldizon was not a public official. He did not manage the state funds. He was only a candidate who, like any other politician or political party, received campaign financing. However, he was accused of different crimes, trying to destroy him with his family, pretending to extinguish property belonging to his family assets, which for generations they have had. It is known that Telma Aldana and Ivan Velázquez, with the support of Juan Francisco Sandoval of FESI, armed the Obradich case and accused Baldizon of crimes that he did not commit. The case does not report that he loan for which the party was bribed. Patriots and the UNE party in Congress were approved in 2013. The bench of the Baldizon's political party voted against the loan, so evidence that there was no illicit association, no bribery, less money laundering. 250,000. Give it an applause, young people. That's the way they started to win the money. And penal denounced is presented right now. All of that people that voted in favor to the to press money and the budget, you will win the penal denounced because of corrupted person. Corrupted. Witnesses and some involved people in this case have started the leader received funding for his Obradich campaign in 2015, so Baldizon will have been president. However, they manipulated the campaign by inventing that he had a grant granted for financing was applied in 2013 for supporting the loan that never stepped. However, those who did vote, supported, and really received a brim remained in impunity. The purpose was to legally destroy Baldizon. A year before the elections, so that the former prosecutor Aldana was the president, all conspired with Todd Robinson. It should be noted that all parties received funds but were biased to attack only Baldizon. We also remember how Velázquez and leftist groups supported by Robinson achieved the fraud in 2015 but cancelling the election in 17 municipalities, and together with Telma Aldana, they illegally entered and affected the system of computations of the Supreme Elections Tribunal to subtract votes from Baldizon, and together with Robinson impose the president on Guatemalans. Commissioner, there is an electoral fraud. Aldana, Velázquez, and Robinson met with some communications mediums such as Prensa Libre, NEMED, Soy 502, and Guatevision to mediate the case and give credibility to the assembly. They agreed attack against Baldizon, even making reports of Baldizon properties on the ground that they were illegally accurate, when in fact they are part of the family estate. The FESI accused without evidence Baldizon and related candidates, and even took the vice president of that time, Edgar Barquin, to jail, who was forced to accept charges on the threat of sinking him in jail. He did not do that. The movement is not your time, in Spanish no te toca, the match to a populate of Baldizon. It was paid by businessmen and Alejandro Zunibaldi. I just want to tell you the very good way. You have to pay fees. It is the moment to pay fees. You have to know that you have to pay for everything you have done to the country. Try not to pay fees for the country. all directed by Arenas of MCN movement, who at the time was an ally of Jimmy Morales and Velázquez. The accusations against Baldizon are a clear example of lawfare, the biased legal war for not control of political power. Experts say it is a distinguished political trial and they have not allowed the businessman and former president candidate to defend himself as rightfully correspondent Baldizon was arrested in flight to the United States after his visa was cancelled, and upon arrival he opened to accept charges in the United States, aware that in Guatemala, in addition to being threatened with death, he will only be sentenced without any prior trial of constitutional guarantee, since Aldana, Velázquez, and Robinson handled judges and prosecutors linked to the left. It is worth mentioning that Diego Chacon Yuridia remains in provision previously and illegally just because he served as a notary, just like Pablo Llanes, who openly declared that he was only at a meeting where British officials offered and gave financial support for the campaign in 2015, never breathed for any of loans or favors. Also, Jorge Antillon, who served as a representative apparently of FECI, actions against him are because they refuse to be effective collaboration and lie to further affect Baldizon. These actions only harm good Guatemalans, and their innocent families lose credibility and legal certainty in the system. In addition, it leaves a country baffled, without the right to a real democracy, and has suffered the judicialization of political and manipulation of justice. In the end, they lost the Guatemalans, who had to endure a government imposed by interests other than their will.